Hi, hi, hello. So, is this running? Yeah, it's running. So, I'll be speaking about. Sorry, if I touch myself like this, it means there is a stream of energy coming down, and it's really my head is really warm at the moment here, and it's giving me some sensations. So I just it it I feel it. That's why I'm doing this. I spoke about karma, so I'll be speaking about karma again. Um, and I don't know which direction will this take because I just never prepare in advance. I just allow to come out whatever wants to come out. So I promise I will be sharing how everything is connected and my personal experiences with it. And somehow it turned out to be a story about karma. Why? Because I see. Basically, this is what I do. So I cannot avoid not talking about karma, and I've been avoiding uh, because I know you can transcend it. Karma can be transcended, but we do create it, and we create it through our actions and our choices. Basically, karma is a consequence of your choices, but not only the consequence from this lifetime, but from your previous incarnations and lifetimes, especially if you are tending to repeat a certain lesson that you haven't learned. You will come back to it at certain point uh, so that you can overcome it and understand it and learn it. And basically, karma is not a bad thing like everybody thinks, and karma is not a vengeance. Karma is a lesson, and it's a chance. It gives you a chance to do something different this time around. So if you have hurt somebody in the past, or somebody has hurt you and then you wrong deed, uh, you will be to decide to create the similar, if not the same circumstances, and as in those lives that you this happened with the same actors, so that you can do something differently this time around. And in this way, let's say everybody says karma is paying back your debt. Um, I don't see it as a debt. I don't see it like that. It's a chance for you to do something different this time around, not only for this other person, but for yourself. And I've been presented right on and face on with it, not only by working with my clients on it, because I listen to their stories, and I see how they tend to repeat. Like I spoke about karmic patterns, and you repeat certain karmic pattern, and when you come to the certain lesson, then they tell you, yeah, now you can advance to the next level, you can advance to the next class. It's like university. So you are going to the next year of studying this particular set of subjects that you chose to learn, uh, to advance to a certain, I don't know, maybe you will have a bachelor's degree in something, and maybe you will have a master's degree in something, and maybe you will have a PhD. And after PhD, you will be teaching or guiding or writing your own book. Not in this level, but maybe at that level, you will be responsible for a certain book, or that is your book of records, but with all the other actors, and you get to choose what the actors do and when they go to this next level or not. Or maybe you create a whole planet, or you get to create a whole universe, or you get to create a set of universes, or whatever, whatever. So the options are limitless. It's just that you have to go through certain, mm, not level. Let's not call them levels, but But you have to go through certain degrees of studying, of learning something, of mastering something. Maybe not mastering, but maybe learning. You haven't understood it properly, so you're going to be learning it again and again and again until you pass your test. And there will be certain actors that will present you with an opportunity for you to have a test. And this particular set of actors will actually be the ones who will be deciding whether you're advancing or whether you're passing your test or not. It doesn't mean you will get grades or you'll get score. It just means that maybe this one particular person will decide, now you don't have to repeat the story ever again, and you can create a new story, or you'll be presented with this particular actor or actors in different forms and repeatedly until you get the lesson. I don't know if you're following me by now, but yeah, this is how it actually works. And then when you learn this lesson, you can advance to do whatever you decided that you are going to do, not only on this planet and this incarnation, but in the upper field where your soul lives. And you do this not because you have a depth, but because you want to be free. You want to liberate yourself from this lesson, and you want to do other things. You want to learn other things. You want to maybe not come back here again, or maybe learn your lessons in other dimensions in a different way, and maybe just create. Maybe not come back in any of the densities. Maybe just observe and create, whatever. So I listen to these stories from my clients, and I've been doing this for a while, and I've been doing it enough to see how we're all connected and how I am connected to each and every one of them. Because I don't tell them this, but I recently got to the point where I'm connecting the dots with certain people who are coming back, and then I've done a lot of past life regression sessions for myself. I've done 15 of them, and I've done 2 LBLs, like life between life sessions, and I've done 4 QHHT sessions for myself, quantum healing hypnosis sessions. So I got to see some of my own stories. And the funniest thing is that I've got clients who were coming and sharing bits of these stories that I've seen in my own sessions uh, without me telling them this, without me telling anyone this, and without them knowing anyone from my life. I have never met them before, they have never met me before, but somehow they come to work on their own issues. And during the session, we come to the point where they start sharing the story that starts looking very similar to me. And some of the stories are not similar. Some of the stories are exactly the same story that I was sharing in my own session. So this would be the point where I sometimes ask them, have we met before? And I usually don't research this with my clients, especially not with the ones that I don't know, I haven't seen before. This is my cat, and she's going to be a big distraction now because she's outside and she wants to come in because she didn't want to come in when I wanted to let her in. So I'm just gonna try and not pay attention to her. But if she's gonna be annoying, so you know. Uh, so um, so the thing is, um, the thing is that in certain sessions I ask questions like this, or sometimes clients tell me we have a connection. So sometimes we do from past lives, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they tell me that we have met, that I'm in their group, which I have a way of checking without them actually asking and exploring this. because they didn't come to see me to explore our connection. They came to work on their own issues. So we have been taught not to do this, or not to accept when clients tell us things about us. And I never do this. And I basically rarely work with people that I really know very well and for a long time. So I'm not really able to check this. And a couple of times there have been side tracks because of this. But I usually know whether I am really connected to those clients or in which group because of these. Because I've remembered most of my stories that they're mentioning, so I know whether what they're saying is exactly how they remember it or not. And sometimes they cannot remember it properly because um, mm, they have a karma with me, not the other way around. And also, um, I have had a couple of very good friends that wanted to explore our connection. So I have explored it with them, and exactly the same stories that I have seen. And I didn't have all of the information because I couldn't remember it myself because it was rather a large trauma. They filled in the gaps because we have shared these experiences and these lives together. And this is why I'm able to share all this with you. So, for the clients who have had seen me uh, and they told me in their sessions the same story that I've seen in my own sessions, uh, they which are similar, which are not the same story but similar story. They're just pointing out the way for you on what you need to work on and explore within yourself. And usually uh, because it's an energetical vibe match, and not only an energetical match, but usually from what I see from my clients, from other people and other actors that they mention there, uh, basically, literally everybody you meet, from your, I don't know, baker, hairdresser, somebody who hits your car, um, uh, somebody who writes you a ticket, somebody who gives you a lending hand, who helps you out just a little bit, is somebody who you have met before. And I've seen it like my clients who have had a car crash, small car crash when they were coming for a session. They basically saw they were a couple, and both of them saw some of the people that they have met during that incident in their past life regression. And yeah, some of the people who come to see me, they tell me that they know me from another dimension where I'm working with them, or actually they're working with me, and they're a teacher, and I'm some sort of queen there, and I've had more than one client with that story, and some of them even told me that there has been, and there is a point to this, so this is what I'm sharing, that there has been a change in powers, and some king took place of a queen, um, and he was more into powers and wanted to manipulate um, people. And those people who were supporting the queen and didn't want to support him and help him manipulate the people in it um, were banished along with the queen, and they live on other planets. They live in exile, but basically they have split themselves up and sent themselves in different places, in different planets. Some of them are in here on Earth, uh, whether in one person or more than one, that depends. Basically, we meet each other because we know each other from other dimension, from a parallel life, not only from a past life. So this is a story of how everything is connected through my sessions. And I've also had clients who are telling me about one particular actor, and they have had past life experiences with this actor which were not so good. And I've had more than one client sharing exactly the same story of what has happened to them through this person, and I'm somehow clearing and dismantling. And it's more like at least 5 people, uh, without them knowing this person before, just hearing about him, or um, just having just met this person, and somehow they end up working with me. And I know the reason why. Because I mentioned in one of my videos that uh, I've been doing this far too long to leave things unresolved and not research on them. I've been researching on some things and some issues, especially on the things that have been repeating during my sessions and in my own life. So it doesn't come as a surprise anymore to me when the clients come with stories like this that are a match. And I also have clients that they share some stories, and I see threads of the story of another client in their story, and I see how some of them are connected. And especially recently, I just recently had a session with one client a couple of days ago, who I saw a thread of the story from some other clients, and but I can't share it now because it's up to them to understand this. It's kind of beautiful, and I'm still understanding how they're all connected to me. So my point is that people who come to see you are not coming to see you by accident. Yes, they're led by the guides and by your guides, but they are there to help you, and you are there to help them. But you are basically liberating each other, and this is why they came. Not We call it, we have karma with them. They have karma with us. They have basically karma with me, or I have been their teacher before. I have been a teacher in many of my incarnations, especially teacher in the. I have been a teacher in Atlantis, and I have, or an Atlantean world, which is in another dimension, which was a world in another dimension. I have been a teacher in my off earth lives and experiences, but I have been a teacher, and here, especially in my very first lives, in my very first incarnations on earth, that didn't end up well. So you basically know me from there. Those who tell me that they see me in their soul group, which is not true, because I ask about certain characteristics, soul colors, and other things that you as a group do, and I know that this is not true, and I don't comment on that. But this is why I'm sharing it here, so that those who are listening to it understand. And that's one thing. Uh, and another thing is when life completely confronts you with this, how everything is connected. Because I have been lately confronted face on with it, not only through my clients who come and bring these stories with them, which is not unusual for me anymore. It doesn't come as a surprise because this is what they came. They came to dismantle this story, to understand what's happening to them, why is this happening to them, why this story, and who they really are through understanding the story. Some of them understand straight away, some of them don't. Most of them don't. Most of you don't. Most of you need more time. Most of you, if you continue working on it, uh, and if you are open enough, and even if you don't work on it, your guides work on you on in your dreams. So yeah, most of you do, but some of you really feel connected to me. And as I've seen, some of you have felt very in depth to me, and I will explain how that goes. So, how this all what I'm going to share here started. It all started with a client who came recently, and she came for what, like a month or two ago, and she came with her own, working on her own issues. And throughout the session, it turns out that her guide was guy, an elderly guy with a long, with in a cape, in a robe, white robe, with white beard and a cane, like a staff. Merlin, she said, that's Merlin. And this guy, I've seen this guy before, and I've met this guy before. I've seen him in my own sessions as a part of my Council of Elders, Galactic Council. And I've also seen from other clients, from what they've been sharing. Some of them he's a guide, to some of them he's in their Council of Elders. And basically, he is one being that's mostly bringing clients to me. So he has different names for different clients, and different names in different dimensions. But this client, he was Merlin. And nobody else so far called him Merlin. I didn't pay that much attention to it until throughout the session, he spoke to me through her. So we don't know each other. She was not interested in our connection. She did not want to know about it. I was not. I didn't pay much attention to the things that she was. I mean, nothing was ringing a bell. I was paying attention to what I was supposed to do with her, and we were meaning that we were not interested in this. We were not exploring it. So basically, that came from him. Well, him. It was a him in that session, and he spoke to me and he said to me directly that uh, her and me are connected through him. And we just left it there, like I said, because I didn't know the client and this was not her issue, her primary issue. I didn't push it any further than that because it was inappropriate because first time it's unprofessional. This is the first time I'm seeing this person. That was a trigger for me. So a couple of days before that, a good friend of mine that I know for 10 years now, for some reason, has sent me a movie about Merlin. I don't remember now what was it that we were talking about, and she just felt that she should send me this, so she sent me this. And then afterwards, like maybe 2 weeks after, or maybe a month after, she came for a session herself, and that was after my two sessions that I've had in between. Because some things were happening to me, and they were things that I felt really knocked down, and I felt like completely defeated, and I just couldn't handle the feeling. So I did some sessions for myself, and in one session I was exploring some other reality in astral plane and Ford 4D, which is not that important for this particular story. Uh, but I my feeling of being completely frozen and immovable did not go away. So we had a certain help from, for me, completely unknown person, a shaman from Madrid, who is a friend of my friend. I did this was a Skype session, two Skype sessions for me, and I confirmed it myself that it's not very advisable to do Skype sessions. This is why I don't do them unless you have had many sessions before. But basically, I needed it, and I needed it because of the connection with this person. So I accepted it. We did it like this. She's not here, so we did it like this. And he directed us where to look for, which was in England, in Stonehenge, where I was keeper of that place. And maybe possibly I was sharing this with this friend of mine who sent me this movie. Uh, so in this session, I said that I was Merlin, and that Merlin was a woman. Basically, that woman was the keeper of the Stonehenge. at that time, which I don't know when that was. It was before time. uh, Merlin was a woman, and there was some certain set of things that has happened, and then later on he became a man. So I thought at that moment that historically he just became a man, but no, physically he became a man. So in that session of my own, I said uh, something happened to me. I was seeing that I was in a circle of stones and doing some rituals, and certain energy needed to go away. And I was feeling very worried about that, but I didn't really see what happened to me. I had a veil. Oh, I couldn't remember, and I just saw that I created a man from stone. I did a ritual and breathed life. I gave breath to life. I blew life into a stone, and he came out of it. And that was my inner male, like my he was of my energy. He was just male, with female energy, and he was male. So we were in me, we were one, but through this particular moment, we became two. And I had another session in the previous session. I didn't say that, I didn't see that, but I had a dream where I saw myself like I am now. And in that dream, I said to myself, yeah, this is me, and I am two. So, in as in number. So, so I saw this, this person, this being. So let's for now not put any face on it, because that can be my mental mind, anyways. Uh, and basically, I didn't see what happened to me and why this was needed, because I needed to do something. So I gave him my powers. I sort of gave him everything that was in me and in my energy. So, but it, everything is the same. He's just male, and he's just different polarity. So that's when I basically became polarized in this sense. Uh, and and after that, I didn't see what really happened to me, because I went on a ship, and I was observing everything from a ship, and I was observing myself creating stuff on screens, and like, programs, and moving things in my hand, creating programs, and that's how I create. And then I saw some rituals with fire, and which doesn't really matter for the story. And anyways, there was another being there, which I literally saw as a being with piercing blue eyes, uh, was very angry with me, because I didn't give him my powers, and I chose this particular person to give him my powers, and I just didn't understand that bit a bit at all. I just said that he's not, mm, he's artificial, and I couldn't give him my powers because he doesn't have a living light inside of him, and I still don't understand that bit properly, and I'm sharing it for a reason. So it doesn't really matter who understands or doesn't understand, because I've seen from people who are listening to this that they later on contact me and tell me, oh, you said this, and this and that, and this and that. And I'm like, I didn't say any of it. This is what you heard. So I'm just sharing what I need to share, and you will get what you need to get from this. Yeah. Uh, anyways, it's about that story. I'm sharing it like this because there is a reason to it also. So this friend comes in, and she gives me the whole story after that. All the bits that I didn't know, and I know this person for 10 years, and I'm like, what else are you hiding from me? What else is in there that I need to know, and that you're hiding from me? So we know each other for 10 years, and this is the moment where we find out about our connection. And she said that she's been in these lives with me. She's been in a life in an Amazon with me. And this is another story, another life where basically I had very big powers in both lives. I had very big powers, but they were a bit different set of powers. And one of them, working with lightning, was included, but in the other one, it was like energy balls and fireballs. And there's this group um, of people of three or something like that, people in Amazon who wanted my powers, and they killed me for it. While they were distracting this my partner at the time, we were doing basically the same thing, because in connection in our energy, when our energies are connected, there is a certain alchemy that happens, and these certain codes and certain vibration can come down, that cannot come down with a connection with any other person. So we are doing the same thing, uh, and while he was busy working, and he was probably being distracted by some magic and stuff like that, because this was the time of magic, and that's what we were doing. Uh, we were using it for creation, uh, and he was. I basically died, and they torn out my heart and a child inside me. And this is the life that I've seen. I know what happened. I just didn't know what was it that I was doing there. I didn't know how powerful I am. Yeah. I didn't understand why are those people in my case. Why am I so important to them? They want my powers. I still don't understand why am I so important to them. Uh, but basically, so she, my friend, back to her, she didn't help me that time because she knew what they're up to, but she didn't share it with me. She didn't warn me, and this is why she needs to help me out through this lifetime and possibly through other lifetimes. She was in my service then. I was a high priestess, and she was not a priestess. She was in my service, but the other woman who was an instigator of this was a priestess ranking below me and possibly my family member, and she wanted me out of her way and wanted powers of my powers, not for herself though. So yeah, so that was Amazon. But then we discovered, because I had 2 sessions with this friend, and we discovered. I mean, she came just to explain. She came because she wanted to work on her own issues, and this was the first time that she asked on her own and accepted to do something like this. It just she wanted to explore what is our connection, because we keep bumping on each other. We are friends for a long time, and then we don't see each other, and then we bump on each other, and then we're friends again. We live in similar close areas, and she ends up helping me all the time. So that's why we explored it. She basically needs to be like in hands reach for me for certain things. And in the Stonehenge, she was also there, but she was pushing down this life. She didn't want to remember it because she basically betrayed me there. She was spying on me while I was doing rituals, to give some information that she thought was insignificant to those people. And it's the same bunch of people, same people, same, same guys, uh, like the in the Amazon and possibly through other lifetimes. And then she gave him this information, and they captured me. Uh, Again, my partner was not there. When we were together, we were sort of invincible. They couldn't do anything. So they kept him away by sending him on trips, study trips, because he liked to study, and he was being kept busy because they were rich. They could do anything. I thought there were some inconsequences in this story because I just, with all these powers that I had, I possibly knew everything that's going to happen. And actually, and that was confirmed to me because throughout the session, she started reciting an incantation I have sent through time and space to myself to awaken me. Basically, I have written down in a stone, um, not only what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, what's going to happen, but I have set a trigger for myself to awaken and to remember and to retrieve what she had back to myself and change circumstances for her because there was nobody else at the moment that she could rely on. And that came as a surprise because she was reciting and there was an energy that just came rushing in to both of us. I didn't think this is going to be difficult for me to share, but it is. And so she started crying throughout the session because she saw that they captured me and they passed me out in chained me like a little animal. And actually, they're chasing me around in this lifetime too, like a little animal, casting nuts on me, like you would chase around an animal. And I feel those nuts. I feel them, and they create physical problems for me and health issues and other issues. So basically, that was what was going on, and that was what I was discovering and dismantling, and that's why I felt paralyzed and immovable because it was a huge trauma. Not only she said that there was like a huge number of them, like an army of dark people under masks on one person, only me, and I was the only one who was glowing, and I was fighting them off for a while, and then they killed my child in front of me, and uh, tortured me, which I actually was told in some other sessions that I have been tortured and tormented physically in many lifetimes, and that sort of created something for me that I didn't want to um, show myself. That I feel that it's not as safe if you show yourself, and basically those things that I've done then are under spell, and I think I have casted a spell on myself so that I don't remember, well, and possibly so that other actors don't remember it until a certain point in time, and possibly all of their guides, because from what I've seen it's happening lately, I've been really working diligently on higher levels with beings, and clients that have been coming recently and people that I've been meeting recently are all connected to the story, and I'm coming to that, and it's going to be a bit longer than before because it's important. uh, and uh, yeah, afterward, what happened was when he came back, he got a little crazy, and after seeing through all the lies and deceptions that were thrown at him, he just from his cane, from his staff, has sent a light directly into their heart. He basically torched them, and then he went on living in a cave because he got a little crazy and took revenge on them. Not only in that lifetime, he cursed them that they have to help me out through lifetimes and dimensions, and basically tied them up to me and created a karma for himself, which I'm helping dismantle. because I possibly feel responsible for it. Now again, this was not my own session, so I couldn't work on it and do something about it, which I will in due time. But this is my process of learning, so that I can teach you through what I've learned in this process. And also because many things that I'm discovering through my own stories, my story, especially this one, and through the stories of my clients, are nothing like we have been taught so far. I'm dealing with issues that nobody has taught me how to deal with, and that I'm learning about and dismantling through the cooperation with and only through the cooperation with the spirit world and the spirit guides and no one else. I have asked people and they have led me astray, some deliberately, some because they have been manipulated, and some because they don't have a clue, like I don't have a clue. My mental mind would tell me something completely different. And this is why I know better now and I leave everything to the guides when clients come to see me because they know better. Basically, this is what they taught me. And yeah, to cut the long story short, this is my friend showed me how everything is connected. I forgot to mention also that when I was in my 20s, I had these dreams, these recurring dreams, tormenting recurring dreams about a wizard, a magician, who was torturing people and even their children and stuff because he got a little crazy and torched down the entire city because they killed his wife. And then he went out on live in a cave, and from then took a revenge on each and every one of them throughout dimensions. And by the way, this is something that my friend also said, and I didn't remember that at that particular moment. I remembered these dreams later. She didn't know this. I never told her this. She didn't know this. She told me that he took revenge on them by this curse, but also through other lifetimes, through some actions that he created by creating karma. And this is why I'm seeing some particular actors in my sessions, and I'm hearing those stories. That's one thing. And the other thing is I had a blog until recently. I was writing. I was writing short stories, and one of my first stories was about this dream that I just mentioned that had stopped like a while ago, but it was repeating itself for a while. So I wrote a story about this wizard because I thought I was me. I mean, in a way, it was. So yeah. I didn't share this in my previous video because I didn't have enough time to make it. I'm sharing it now. So that's one of the things. How can you remember your stories and how everything in your life or events in your life are interconnected because they're giving you hints and clues? How can you understand something about yourself? They're pointing the direction, the way for you. But most of us, like I didn't understand it at that moment, and it was scaring me. And some of the other things were also scaring me, which were not scary at all. It was that they were carrying a shitload of emotions and fear that was connected to that particular situation. So this is why they feel heavy and scary, but they are holding your liberation in it, and they're worth exploring. So this is why I'm saying this. So move on. Um, how life confronted me with it. I have maybe weeks after that, I felt this sudden urge to go to this particular place, particular shop that I usually go, where I didn't plan to go, I didn't plan to buy anything. It's just something was pulling me and pulling me and pulling me, and it was not coming from here. Because most of the times recently, I'm not even sure whether those thoughts are mine. So I just said, okay, I followed this hunt, followed this feeling, followed it. And I wanted to go and ask this woman who works there, why is she thinking so loudly at me about me? So I just, I thought I had to be there because she was thinking about me. She wanted something, needed something. And while we were talking, like 15 minutes later, a couple comes in. Um, and I don't know how we started talking about all this. This guy starts speaking about a goddess, and who else in this country speaks about goddess? And that got me interested, and then I just looked at him and I said, I know you, and I know you from Stonehenge. And then we start talking, and he just, he was unsure, but then he started sharing this. He remembered this lifetime of his own because he has a very strong connection with his guide. He basically grew up together with his guide. He calls her goddess for him, but his guide, she appeared in flash with him, and other people saw him. And he was playing game of chess with this child, and this child, and he won. And this child promised something to him, and from that moment, he's been seeing it in flash too, but mostly in like I would talk to another person, he talks to his guide, and he knows things and he sees things. So he remembers through her, and he tells me, "Oh, I was a Merlin and I was a woman," and I'm like, "What?" Excuse me, I was Merlin and I was a woman. What are you saying? And then when we explore this a bit further after a while, we discovered that also there is another life on a ship, a spaceship that he had when he was a woman, like a peacekeeper woman, and he remembered certain set of circumstances that I didn't know from the session, but I had also memories of these things through dreams. I've had dreams of this. I mean, I just don't see a woman. He sees a blonde woman, and I see myself. And then this was a lifetime where he blew up himself with a bomb. And I've had these dreams, especially. Uh, this is another story because never mind. He didn't want to be captured by certain alien beings, and he blew himself up. And I've had these dreams with on a ship where I'm taking bombs in my hands and throwing them away, and especially were connected to a certain retreat that didn't go through. I was picking up some bombs and removing them from certain space. And I've had these memories of also of not having a left leg, where he had the same thing. And after that conversation, and after I had pain in these parts of my body, and after our conversation and our meeting, that was gone. And also basically then I discovered, I've been told that we are relatives, we are spiritual relatives, not particularly like in the first soul group. He's not my first soul group soulmate, like second one, third one, like he would be my cousin. But we are a study group. We have a same mission. So throughout lifetimes, we basically don't meet each other, but we continue where the one stopped, the other one continues. So in the memories in Stonehenge, he has a memory from a certain point, and I have a memory to a certain point. So basically, he took off where we left off, and he was speaking the same thing. I was Merlin, I was woman. I'm not. I'm not born, I was made, I came out of stone, and I don't, there was a veil, and I don't remember some set of circumstances, and then I was a man, and then I was doing this and this, and I was like, what? So basically, yeah, and this was our agreement, that we meet each other at a certain point so that we help each other, so we unlock each other, and so that he helped me unlock my memories, and yeah, help me with something. And his wife uh, basically asked that day before going to bed to meet people from my ship where I go to, and she is somebody I know from my ship, and I was her teacher superior some sort, but we all have other somebody else who is our superior too. And yeah, he was saying like something that he was a ship commander and that ship, but I've been told that I'm a fleet commander. This is why I experience some things that most of the people don't experience. And this is where actually previous stories that I've been telling you about now have origin in, because of that, because I'm holding a portal and I'm a ship commander, and this is the first time I'm actually sharing it also for a reason. So how this works, I have recently had in another session uh, with a plant spirit, uh, being I've been told from for another person too that is my spiritual relative, but he's more like my brother, like the closest relative, that not in this in physical reality, not biological, but there is biological connection too. I don't have a clue how, through ancestry possibly, from what I've known so far, because there is one certain being that we are direct that this is what I've been shown. There is one certain being we're direct descendant of, and we're like on that, like what brother and sister would be, but this is a different connection and different set of circumstances that I don't know about. And basically, the other guy is like my cousin who is sharing a mission with me, and we're helping each other carry out our missions. And I've heard these stories from my clients in their sessions, and it's a completely different thing when you see somebody in a session in the higher plane, but when you're confronted, when you meet those people, you are being presented by the power of the spirit world that are telling you, you see, we're real. This is real. Where you said is real. And I thought, honestly, for that session, for the last one, I made it all up. Like I was sounding like most of my clients who are just saying, "Yeah, am I making all this up?" And it sounded a bit dopey, but at that moment when this guy started talking, it was like these guides. It was just arranged from something much higher than us, and like these beings have just arranged this meeting and led me there and led them there. I mean, how many beings are actually connected to you doing this? And it's showing me, you see, you are being given this in flesh, in physicality, so that you can show it to other people, and there are other people who are witnessing this. So anybody who thinks that they can um, control the spirit world is it's just stupidity. It's just your ego talking. You cannot control anything or anybody. And if you think you're cooperating with some beings, think again. They're controlling you. And this is why I'm telling you, I've been really confronted with how your your guides, your true guides, and your higher selves and your souls and your soul groups and your soulmates are communicating to you. And I'm not only being taught this, my clients and my sessions, but through physical reality by meeting those people, and they are there only to help you. And it maybe it's only in a meeting, in a 5 minute meeting, because it's in the energy. You all have certain keys to unlock certain doors and to take each other a bit further. You don't even have to discuss about it. It just happens. And it's, from what I've understood so far from our conversations with this couple, um, it's like there is a certain group, um, who has some certain. We're not the only group. There are more than one group. There are certain tasks, and we are being activated, and we haven't been activated so far, but we are being activated lately. For what purposes, we don't know. But so you know, there are more of us, just in case somebody else fails. And what the heck that is, I don't know. Because from what my story, the way it's going so far, yeah, it's kind of worrying me. Yeah, different set of circumstances now and different energies. So basically yes, and it's been really important for me to share this, and I've been very pushed by my higher guidance to do this, because I hide this. I don't speak about it. And they're moving away from our area anyways, so I only have a couple of days to, to speak um, with somebody my language. I mean, here I am just meeting somebody who speaks my language, and they move away. So anyways, we it doesn't that doesn't really matter, because we work on higher planes. So this is just showing me how everything in this reality here is a dream, because I know them from higher planes, and we work with each other already. It's just that we were not aware. We're not aware of each other. And make it more complicated, I actually lived in the area where this couple lives now. So it's kind of like maybe almost 10 years ago. I move around a lot, but so that's not that hard, but still. Anyways, we're not only channels to channel and bring down this particular energy that is coming in now, but we have a certain mission that we are not quite sure what is that yet. Anyways, I hope this shows you how everything is connected, and how karma is a real thing. And basically, I'm sharing this. It's I know all these actors who are my case, have been on my case in previous lifetimes and are now, and it's we're bound by karma, and somebody else bound us. It starts in other planet, and the task of this one particular person, or at least what he thinks it is that to stop me from taking my own place, which is not going to happen, because got karma with me, which means when you get karma with somebody, you cannot advance until this person advances. We tend to repeat feelings and the circumstances, and end up in the same loop. And we tend to hate this person. You know, you see somebody and you cannot stand them, and you don't even know where is this coming from, because you don't know this being, but you possibly have another lifetime with them. Maybe he did something not so nice to you, and then you have a grudge, or you're afraid of this person. And those were my feelings too. Now knowing all this, I have understood. um, this time around, I got nothing to lose. I can only gain, so I don't give it. You know, and you cannot advance without me to whatever dimension you want to until you dismantle your karma, which means you gotta do something different this time around. You gotta be nice to me. And of course, people can decide to do whatever they want to do, but then there are circumstances, there are always circumstances, and there is no other way of moving around karma but this. You have to cooperate. Kinds of animosities, especially in those energies that are around here now, are gone. So I know, like I said in one of my previous videos, I know very well. I thought I'm doing things randomly. Now I understand I don't. I'm doing this from higher planes. I'm doing this. And I'm instigating clearing in certain people. It was not consciously intentional, but it was intentional by my soul, by my higher guidance. I want my soul liberated and I want my soul free of karma, especially and particularly of karma that I didn't make myself personally. So, and not mention that I also know what I'm doing on the higher planes, and that I um, get to decide whether you go further from here or not, whether you are to repeat the lessons or not only because of what I do here, but because of who I am there. And nothing's going to change that. No, doesn't really matter how much you would like it. And by this, I have accepted a set of circumstances that are not so nice for me. They are perfect disguise, if you want. Do what I'm supposed to do. So if it's powers you want, you're not going to have them because I don't remember things. And there's no way making me remember it until it's time to remember. Until I have decided from higher planes that I can remember. And like I said, um, if it's only powers that you want, and if it's only animosity that you feel towards a certain person who you see is your karma, or you understand, or you, I don't know, you remember something, that you're not very awakened. You are still very much unconscious, and it's all your ego doing. Because in certain levels, in higher dimensions, you cannot progress. It doesn't really matter which way you want to go. You cannot go from a certain point. You can only lose, like all these life stories that I've just shared of my own. All those actors thought they gained. Nobody gained. Nobody gained there. Everybody is bound up by karma. It has been repeating itself through lifetimes and lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes. And we can go on like that indefinitely. It's that I don't want to go on like that indefinitely. So I've been seeing people in my sessions and I've been helping them dismantle and free themselves because also they're helping me free myself, my soul, and all the others. So you can hate me all you want because of the energies that are coming in, are pushing you to change, that they will make you change. This is what I'm here to do. And I'll do it because I got nothing better to do and I got nothing to lose. This or that way. So, saying all this, I have mentioned some actors that I know who they are, who are settings and circumstances in motion in a different way. I know who all of them are. I know who the core group are because I've seen them and I've heard them. I'm very clairaudient. It was recently, some of the things have been shut down so that some of the suggestions are not getting in through. I know many people won't understand what I'm saying now, but I'm going to be more direct when it's time to be so. This is just to share a message. There's only one person, well, two of them, a man, one is a woman, and a man is hired by a woman in this lifetime. And I know who he is, and I know who he is because I've seen him. It's just that I don't know him personally yet, and I know we won't meet because it's bound to. It's karma and it's my liberation. And it's everybody's actually, if you want it, if you choose it to be so. For all I know, I could be your best friend because of all this. And if you want to see it properly, that's how you should be approaching it. Because we can all work together differently in this so that we liberate ourselves. And this is what I have decided to do, and this is what I will do. And why I do certain things that people maybe don't understand and choose to follow certain path is because I love my soul. And I'll do anything for my soul. And I don't give a damn what everybody else thinks about that. Because essentially, you, me, anyone else, we're all alone in front of God and with our own souls. It's just that I've split myself. And then I gotta do things in a bit different way than other people do. So I'm helping out someone else too. And I'm helping all of you out too. It's just that you don't understand it yet. And yeah, this is what I think, I believe. Maybe that's my ego speaking, but I think this is what the spirit world wants us to understand, that this is what karma is about. It can be transcended. When you come to a certain point, you have to transcend it, but then you cannot create more of it. This means that at a certain point, when you're learning certain lessons, you will have to be doing things that you don't like very much, and that you would be doing differently and that are not very comfortable for you. That means that you're going to have a lot of self-control, and that you are going to a lot of pain, a lot of pain of other people too. But from what I've seen from my clients, when you come to a point that you have learned your lesson, then you can be free of it. And if you're not, there's nothing in this world that we can do to control it and change it, because you're just told it's not time yet. You have more things to do. So, sorry. But also, one of the things is that there is nothing in this world that anyone can do to control spirit world. And there is nothing in this world is going to stop a soul that have decided to grow and move forward and fulfill its task to do so. Just you think it's not, but it's there's nothing and nobody. I don't know, not a human being, not even another soul, because souls do cooperate, souls do help out each other. I just some of the ways are unconventional ways. Is that human beings don't understand it, and they have their own ideas of how they should stop certain circumstances or help somebody else, and there is no way for a human being to control spirit. Well, we are spirit within bodies and with skin and bones and sack of bones, but we are also spirit. And when you are in alignment with your spirit, there is nothing in this world that's going to stop you from growing, especially if you're growing in love. You can grow in another direction too. This is another story, and there are different sets of circumstances. There are also spiritual laws that are um, banning and stopping some things when you think you are what. And this is really amazing that she was silent just just now. So this is my sign that I should finish. I don't have a clue how will you react to this. I don't honestly don't care. Some things need to be said and some things need to be shown. And I obviously decided that they're gonna come through me. So thank you for being patient with me and trust me. I do this from my heart and speak it from my heart, and I do this out of love, only out of purity of my heart and of the first love. And I hope this gets understood in a proper way from all of the actors. Yeah.